Hello, spooky crew. Our tote bag drawing is officially closed, and we just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who entered. We are so grateful for the love and the support, and we have loved reading your reviews. Missed the tote? No worries. We're still sending out high-quality vinyl stickers while supplies last. Just email us proof of your rating and review along with your mailing address to thespookydarlings@gmail.com, and we'll get one headed your way. Quick promise, your address is only for mailing the sticker. No emails, no selling info, no funny business, just spooky gratitude. Thanks again for supporting the show. You are the reason we do this.
You're listening to the Spooky Darlings, where three sisters get together for a cryptid crawl. And this episode's state is Kentucky. I'm Haley.
I'm Nettie.
I'm Emily.
And is Kentucky the 16th state? Or are we on 17? I think we're on 17.
Oh.
Sing the song.
Alabama, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas. Kentucky is 17.
17.
And then next will be Louisiana, the 17th state. And for those of you that are familiar with the song I'm singing, it's called 50 Nifty. And it was written by Ray Charles. But not the Ray Charles of fame, but the Ray Charles of elementary school United States songs fame. And anyway, it's a great way to learn all 50 states in alphabetical order.
Emily, I believe you're going to start us off.
I am going to go first, but I do want to say if your name is Ray Charles and you're in the music business, but you're not that Ray Charles, you should probably call yourself Raymond.
Do you know that I thought as an elementary teacher that Ray Charles, like the blind famous, like, you know, Ray Charles was the one that wrote that song. And I was like, can you believe he wrote this song for kids? It's not, doesn't really sound like his other songs, but like, I really thought that until I saw something where it was like, not that Ray Charles. And I was like, wait, what?
So really it should be Ray, not that Ray Charles, Charles.
Ray, not that Ray.
He doesn't get quotes, he gets parentheses, and it's, you know, a little bit less cool, but also, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, quotes or parentheses, as long as the information's out there.
Okay, so we are in Kentucky, and I'm going to tell you a story that started on Sunday evening, August 21st, 1955.
Ooh.
And this was at the rural farmhouse of Glennie Lankford. And this sat on farmland between Kelly and Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And it was, you know, it's a rural area. It's surrounded by woods. It's surrounded by fields.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the house, there were two families spending a quiet Sunday evening together. The people present included Glennie Lankford, the owner of the property, her two adult sons, Elmer, lucky in quotes, not parentheses, Sutton, and her other adult son, J.C. Sutton, their wives, Vera and Aline. There was a visiting couple friend of theirs named Billy Ray Taylor and his wife, June. They were also present. June's brother was also there, and then a bunch of other relatives and children. It was kind of a full house. Altogether, there were some stories said 5 adults, but just from the list I said, there were 8 adults. So I don't know why it said there were 5 adults.
Unless some of those were married kids.
And that's actually possible. So who knows? But, you know, the house, it was a full house that evening. Several of the adults there were traveling carnival workers who were visiting the farm at the time. At around 7 p.m., Billy Ray, who was the friend that was visiting with his wife, he went outside to fetch water from the well. And he saw something shocking. He claimed that he saw a bright metallic or silvery object streak across the sky, making a loud whistling sound before falling to the ground behind a hill or tree or beyond the horizon. He couldn't quite tell. It glowed brightly. And he said that it appeared to be about the size of a large wash tub.
Oh my.
So he runs inside.
But shape?
He tells everyone.
Shape, you said a disc? Or did I just make that up because I'm immediately thinking across the sky it's got to be disc shaped?
It just said object, and it said the size of a metal wash tub, but it didn't say disc shaped. So,
okay.
But, maybe.
Well, and I guess, okay, so wash tubs back then, they'd actually not be like a bathtub. It would be like a circular. That's what a wash tub was. It was like a circle. So maybe that was the shape too. Maybe that's why he said about a wash tub. Anyways, moving on.
So he runs in and tells everybody, and they all kind of dismiss it. They're like, okay, it was probably a meteor or a shooting star, and they just kind of continue about their evening. But about an hour later, around 8:30 p.m., the family dog, starts to bark furiously. So Lucky, one of the sons, gets up to see what's going on. He steps outside with a gun to see what had the dog all riled up. And he saw a small creature approaching the house. This creature was 2 to 3 feet tall, kind of child-sized, very thin, slightly hunched, with very thin legs and long arms ending in claw-like fingers, and the hands were faintly glowing.
Oh, boy.
Its head was
so
very
weird.
large. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, that's so weird.
Yeah, it's an odd spectacle that he's seeing. The head was
But
very
also,
large.
I will just say from an evolutionary perspective, glowing hands are a great idea. Because remember those finger gloves that you were trying to get Jordan with the lights on the end?
Exactly. The flashlight gloves that never arrived.
Yes. Like that would be convenient.
It would be really handy. The head was quite large, almost round, with large glowing yellow eyes that were wide set apart, so they were almost
like whale
on where the side, not quite on the side of the head, but like towards the side of the front of the face that you would see.
Yeah.
Like a chameleon?
Maybe.
No,
Like a
chameleon's
lizard.
eyes move crazy.
Or a snake, but like on different sides of the body.
So it was like, so just kind of like look at my eyes, how they're like kind of mostly
they're
in a normal
bulbous
position. Like
Your eyes are perfectly spaced. Aesthetically very
Picture
pleasing.
my bulbous eyes slightly shifted outward.
I see. Okay.
Okay, so they had pointy ears that were sticking out on the side of their head. The face was flat and had no visible mouth.
Oh.
So the skin was silvery gray or metallic looking, and the movements were odd, like it was gliding or floating, almost like they were either weightless or like the way something would look in water.
Okay.
So the creature raised its long clawed arms, and this is where I kind of question, like, was this creature showing like, hey, I'm not a threat, like putting its hands up? Or, as Lucky felt, was it a threat? Because he said that it raised its arms up at him, so he shot it.
Well,
Every
raising
time.
arms, like in every culture, doesn't raising your arms mean like, oh, like, hey, hands up. I mean,
Yeah, and
Lucky.
then, and then every time they always shoot it.
Quit shooting cryptids, dudes.
So that's what I would have thought, but the bullet ricocheted off the creature. It made a metallic ping sound.
Oh my.
And instead of falling down, the creature kind of flipped backward like a rag doll and floated away into the darkness.
Oh my. That's
So,
cool.
Over the next 3 to 4 hours,
I would like
the
to
family-
reincarnate as that.
as
Glowing,
whatever that thing
as
is.
glowing hands, pinging body, skin, float, and also the flip. I love the idea of the flip.
Yeah, it does kind of sound fun. Over the next 3 to 4 hours, the family claimed that the creatures repeatedly approached the house. The creatures would come up to windows and slowly rise with their glowing eyes appearing
my
first at the
gosh.
sill of the window.
Wait,
And
their
then
eyes
their
glow
enti-
too?
Yes, their eyes were glowing yellow. You were so obsessed with telling me I have bulbous eyes that you missed the part where I said their
Hey,
eyes were glowing yellow.
I was
heard
so
yellow
focused
eyes.
on glowing hands.
I heard yellow eyes. I don't know if I heard glowing.
Listen, I might have missed it because I was trying to describe the placement of the eyes. Maybe
We
I didn't
were.
say their eyes were glowing yellow. So they'd see that the head peer up and the glowing eyes come up over the bottom of the windowsill, peeking inside to observe the family. One witness later said that it looked like it was studying us. At one point, the family heard scratching sounds on the roof. claws scraping across metal. So Lucky goes outside and looks up, and the creature is perched on top of the roof edge staring down at him. He fires, and they say that the creature kind of rolls off the roof, flips in the air, and then gently floats to the ground before disappearing.
Wow.
So the family saw these creatures lurking in trees, approaching the house repeatedly. So the men are inside the house, kind of terrified, and just shooting from inside the house at the creatures as they try to approach the
I
house.
just feel like this is such a missed opportunity. Why didn't they put the women in charge?
We don't need to shoot everything.
So this is like an hours long, they call it a siege, right? To me,
Yeah.
It's kind of like, is it a siege? Like you're the only ones with guns. The bullets seem to have little to no effect on the creatures. They just kind of flip and float away if they're hit. After
It almost sounds like a video game. Like, you know, when you
Yeah.
shoot something in a video game and it's sort of like boom, 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 and then comes back.
Yeah. So after the screen door is broken by their own gunfire, a creature reaches a long, thin arm through the opening with its glowing claw-like finger. Lucky grabbed the arm and said it felt strange and rigid, like not human. The creature pulled free and got away and disappeared. So despite being shot at repeatedly, the creatures don't ever attack or harm anyone. Instead, they just appear to be cautious and curious and almost playful. So, you know, they keep approaching. They keep, you know, coming from different angles, looking down from the roof, you know, looking in through the windows, coming to the doors, just kind of trying to look. At one point, one of the men stepped outside and a creature reached down from the roof and touched his hair.
Oh my gosh.
Just like gently
like a little-
touched the man's hair.
A little caress.
So, you know, recall that early in the encounter, when they had first realized that something was near the house, the dog went crazy. The family dog had run outside barking when Lucky went outside, but after that moment, the dog never returns, and the dog is never found again.
Oh, the dog is with the creatures now, which I'm assuming are aliens based on the shooting across the sky bathtub.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking too. You know, so reports claimed. Okay, so I saw one video where a woman who was not present, but her relatives were present. She said that there were only like 3 or 4 creatures, but all the other reports claim that there were 12 to 15 creatures present during the night. But around 11 p.m., the group decides they can make a break for it, and they run to their cars. They all pile in cars, like all 12 plus of these people from the Sutton family farm, pile in vehicles, and they drive to the Hopkinsville police station. They arrive there terrified. They tell the officers everything. It was noted that nobody in the group seemed to be inebriated or intoxicated. And this is funny because this is, I think, the third cryptid story that I've told where that is like included in the tellings.
At least.
The police are like, they are not drunk and they are saying crazy things.
We had been drinking, but we were not drunk.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, they make it seem like they were, you know, terrified and sober. So the police sent 4 city police officers, 5 state troopers, 3 deputy sheriffs, and 4 military police from nearby Fort Campbell to search the farm and look around. But they didn't find any evidence of any creatures or any spacecraft. All they found was bullet holes from inside the house, broken windows, damaged doors, damaged screens, all consistent with the family firing weapons from inside the house at something outside.
Yeah. Okay.
There are no footprints, no scratches, no physical remains of creatures recovered.
Yeah. Well, because they were floating.
Not even that wash tub?
No, because that was their spacecraft.
So some witnesses later claimed that even after police arrived, that they could see glowing eyes in the woods nearby, like watching the farmhouse, but that the police did never see it. So police eventually, saw all they could see and they left the property. But according to the family, the creatures came back around 3:30 a.m.
Oh.
and surrounded the house again. So they packed up and they left. They just got out of there because they were not interested in sticking around.
Attempt at communication. This just blows my mind. What a missed opportunity.
Yeah. So
wouldn't
the
you just at
story
least be
quickly
like,
spread.
Here's a piece of bread. Like, wouldn't you just try something and then mime, you eat it? Or point to yourself and go, I'm Emily. If I were Emily, I'm Jeanette.
She's cosplaying as Emily.
You're just going to confuse the aliens by giving those kinds of examples. So I'm going to put Haley in charge.
Okay. First things first.
I'm all right, but just so you know.
This is called wine. And it's delicious.
You put it in your mouth hole if you have one. Sorry, guys.
Shit. That was such a burn. Because they don't have one.
Yes, sorry, little guys. Okay, so the story quickly spreads to newspapers all over the place. Reporters label the creatures the Hopkinsville Goblins. The Kentucky New Era, which is a newspaper, ran headlines about little men and a UFO attack. And the Sutton family kind of starts to become the center of international media attention, and it's not positive. They're kind of being ridiculed.
Oh, no.
But in spite of this ridicule, the family never changes their story, and they never try to profit from their story.
Okay.
So, interestingly, witnesses did not ever say that the creatures were green, but the phrase little green men was kind of attached to this story and became kind of part of it. So this was one of the early instances of little green men attached to a UFO encounter. Go ahead, Haley.
Would you remind me of the year of this?
This was 1955.
Okay.
So, this case was eventually reviewed by the U.S. Air Force as part of Project Blue Book, which investigated UFO sightings during the Cold War. The Air Force concluded that there was no evidence of aliens, and the case was listed as a hoax or misinterpretation. However, investigators did note that the witnesses appeared genuinely frightened. So they're kind of contradicting themselves. They're saying, was it a hoax or was it something that actually scared these people? So researchers have proposed several explanations. And can you guess? I don't know why it always comes back to this creature, but can you guess?
Kangaroo. Chimpanzee.
No.
Orangutan?
Orangutan.
No. An owl, guys.
Oh,
People are saying
an owl.
People say that the most likely explanation is that it was a great horned owl.
Several, 15 great horned owls
And
that
also
had
with glowing eyes and hands.
That instead of clawing at a man's head, gently caresses a man's head. I mean, the dog missing tracks, but
yeah.
So the height roughly matches the reported size because great horned owls are kind of big. The large glowing yellow eyes can reflect light, which can be, mistaken for something else, I guess.
yeah,
The ear tufts resemble pointed ears, but not to the point that they were described. And they are digressive when defending their nests, so
But
perhaps...
Do bullets ping off of their metallic feathers? I think not, because they're not
know
very
how-
right.
I don't know about owls doing
not.
flips.
Yeah, I also don't think they don't get bullets ricocheted off them and flip and float like a rag doll if they do get
And,
shot.
peering in people's windows.
Yeah, slowly. I mean, how I pictured it.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I described it, and that's how I pictured it. So, another theory suggests that Billy Ray saw the object fly by, that it was actually a meteor, and the darkness caused a little bit of a panic, and then they were all just freaked out and misidentified animals. And some people also just think it was a total hoax.
Here's the thing. If it was owls and they had been shooting at owls, there would have been evidence of owls being shot at. And there was no evidence because
Feathers everywhere.
feathers
You're
everywhere.
right. And I will say it's not likely that people living on a farmstead in a rural area would mistake an owl for anything other than an owl.
Mm-hmm. Right.
These are people that raise animals, raise crops.
Yeah.
They would know an owl. They're not some, random city folk that have never seen an owl before. Like, they would know what an owl was. That's kind of my...
City folk would be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Like, what is this feathery alien? Some skeptics think that maybe it was staged or some kind of hoax, but there's no real motive. And it does kind of make me wonder a little bit about witness bias, just because some of the other cryptids that I've shared before have been like, and this was a minister and a wife. So clearly there could be no lying happening here. But these were like itinerant carnival workers, that probably didn't have that weight of reputation that the press would trust right away.
Listen, just because someone's a minister doesn't mean they're honest or a good person, as evidenced from the recent murder.
Yeah.
From when that guy killed his wife.
And history.
Totally.
And,
yeah.
yes.
There's just a lot of crazy things. And, maybe there's some really good, honest carnival workers too.
I bet there are.
So the Hopkinsville case,
if we look real hard,
it stands out because of how many witnesses were all terrified and all stating the same thing. And, how long the event that they reported lasted. The police and military took it seriously and came to investigate and were involved. But this all did happen during the 1950s UFO craze. So that could kind of paint... people were a little bit like, oh, anything I see in the sky, could it be a
Was it a craze
UFO?
or were we just was that just like the popular thing for aliens to visit? Like that was their thing. Where they're like, let's just pop down and visit Earth.
Yeah, maybe. They were like, ooh, Earth is great at this time of the century.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those, like, kind of, some UFO believers consider it a credible close encounter story. Even though skeptics think it was an owl.
Well, as cryptozoologists, what do we think?
Alien.
Well, I think it was probably it sounds to me like it was an alien. I would have thought maybe some other kind of creature if they hadn't first seen the thing zing across the sky making a whistling noise.
Yeah. I just think that the glowing hands, glowing eyes, floating, flipping, pinging bullets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this did influence a lot of pop culture in the decades that came after, including the movie Critters. Those creatures in the movie Critters from 1986 were heavily inspired by this encounter.
Well, no, I'm going to have to do a rewatch. Actually, have I ever even watched it? I'm not sure.
You probably have.
Okay, I'm going to rewatch.
The
Heretic
Pokemon critter named Sableye is also inspired by these goblins. They influenced a lot of early alien designs in movies. And the town hosts an annual festival called the Kelly Little Green Men Days Festival.
That's so cute.
Has Goblin Con UFO and Paranormal Expo. And the 70th anniversary happened in 2025, which featured all kinds of speakers, vendors, cosplay, and Alien Invasion Day festivities, which I think sounds like so much fun. I love these little towns that just kind of grasp their crazy stories and have fun with it. Like whether you believe it, whether you don't, like have some whimsy in your life. I just think it's so much fun.
It's good for the community. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of fun to have that little thing of pride. Speaking of which, Elgin, Oregon is hosting a Bigfoot festival for their first annual Bigfoot festival, because I don't know if you knew that Bigfoot is huge in Oregon, and especially like in Northeast Oregon. And so they are having their first annual Bigfoot festival like the first week of August this summer. Yeah.
And the spooky darlings will be there.
Oh my goodness, for sure. And I just want to
try to go.
Oh, Emily, come up.
Please.
Come up to Oregon for the Bigfoot Festival. We can podcast live.
Can we get a booth? We can
Sure.
bring our
Merch.
recording equipment and ask for people's real stories. We can harvest stories. I love this idea,
Yes.
actually. We should do it.
and I was going to say bring our car magnets and some
Yep.
stickers and
Merch.
a little merch.
Oh, yeah, merch, sell it. Yeah, and harvest stories. And can I just say something?
Yeah.
If you are an honest carnival worker, we want to hear your stories. Or if you are a dishonest minister who has murdered people or been crooked, we want to hear your stories. thespookydarlings@gmail.com. Write in. We'll read them on the pod.
And we can't say that if you incriminate yourself, we will not turn you into the police. So
I mean, don't give us any clues as to who you are, and we won't be able to. Well, but you're right, Haley. We would.
we would turn them in.
We're all about justice. But if the statute of limitations has run out, whatever.
Not on murder.
We just would love to. Yeah, I'm just saying other crimes.
Oh,
We'd love to share your crime.
All the crimes. Sorry.
Yeah,
my
any
bad.
crime, any crime. Share it. Yeah. Thank you, Emily. Continue. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say
no,
that.
don't tell me to continue. I am done. That is the
Girl.
Hopkinsville Goblins, and I thought it was such a fun creature.
It's such a fun creature, and I loved the way you told it. It was so fun. I could
love that there's
picture
a
it.
festival.
Yeah, and I want to go to the festival.
Yeah.
Also, didn't you say the word Kelly?
Yeah. So Hopkinsville and Kelly are two towns nearby, and the farmstead was kind of halfway between. So
And they're calling them little
Even-
green men, and Kelly green is a color. I'm sorry, I just made that connection.
yeah.
Kelly green, little Kelly green men.
I love it.
Although
the
not
witnesses
green.
described them as maybe more like metallic colored, silvery, like dark silvery gray.
Sounds like they were literally either their skin was made of metal or they were wearing some kind of armor that looked like skin. Is it possible that they were wearing some kind of armor?
I mean, they didn't, based on the descriptions, it didn't sound like they were wearing anything visible. They didn't describe anything that sounded like metal on the outside of them, but who knows? Maybe there was a force
Yeah.
field. Maybe
didn't
their
say
skin is made of
scales.
something that it didn't say scales. It didn't say scales.
Okay. Just kind of
Bodysuit of sorts.
metallic gray color. Okay. Well, Emily, excellent. That was fun.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, I'm going to go second. Okay, I am going to tell you about another cryptid from Kentucky, the 17th state alphabetically. We did not do states in order they entered the Union. Maybe we'll do that later. But
No, I bet we won't.
no, we won't. I said maybe, and I will cut that out. But the cryptid I chose from Kentucky, and I just loved the name. I didn't do any research before I chose it, but is the Kentucky Gravedigger. Now, the Gravedigger, it is not very well known. In fact, if you go into Reddit and say, has anyone seen the Kentucky Gravedigger? So many people will say, I've been an avid follower of cryptids, and I'm from Kentucky, and I've never heard of it. But there is still ample information, and there have been some sightings of this creature. So, it is mostly seen in Kentucky, but has been spotted. But has been spotted in other areas. It is usually seen in graveyards or railroad areas, mostly around the Darnville and nearby rural regions. It's not as famous as Bigfoot. It's often kind of seen, heard about in folklore, but there have been sightings. Okay, it is small. It is usually 3 to 4 feet tall, kind of like your cryptid, Emily, kind of like the Hopkinsville Goblins, a little taller. It has a stocky torso that is covered in dark fur, like usually brownish, blackish fur. Its head is bat-like, and it has sharp teeth. And its long, thin, hairless arms, no hair on the arms, appear disproportionately long. So it moves really quickly, and it's been seen in graveyards darting between headstones and then hiding behind them, and then darting really fast and then hiding behind them. Some stories say, and I don't know how people would know this, but some stories say that it has poor eyesight, like a bat, meaning that they think it relies on sound or smell. I almost picture it like a bat that's big, like a 3 to 4 foot tall bat, but without wings. Like think a bat that doesn't have wings, so it crawls along on the ground.
Oh, sad bat.
And a big bat. Big sad bat.
Yeah.
but maybe still uses like the sonar or the smell, the sound to get around. It can see, but not well. So its name comes, the gravedigger, because it is frequently spotted in cemeteries, and it appears near fresh graves, digging or scratching at the soil. It is often also spotted in woods feeding on carcasses, or they think in graveyards, possibly feeding on human remains. And that's according to legend, because more current sightings, I don't know how it would have to get past the cement casing and then like through the box that encases the actual casket. Like human bodies are now buried in such a way that it would be very hard to get into. Like it's a big deal to exhume a body. And they're just like not, and part of it, they encase them in cement now because they don't want the ground to concave when the body decomposes and the casket then falls apart. Like in old pine boxes, you'd find like places where people were buried where every time there's a body, there's a concave in the soil because of the decomposition and the pine box falling apart. Like it would be hard for these creatures to get through that, but who knows? They are mostly seen at night, and the association with railroads, I said earlier that they're often seen near railroads, is because or some people think it's because in the 19th century, railroads or 19th century graveyards were located near all rail lines in rural Kentucky. I don't know why. Maybe with transport bodies. Who knows?
Interesting.
So that could have inspired the stories of it being seen near rail lines or Kentucky. So the earliest mention of the Kentucky Gravediggers was in Danville, Kentucky, where people described it as a small bat-faced scavenger seen near graveyards. These tales of sightings did not have dates or named witnesses, so often people consider it local legend rather than documented sightings. But there are sources that recount a story where someone driving past a cemetery at night saw the creature digging in a grave, and when the witness approached closer, the creature stood upright and growled, then ran into the darkness.
Uh-oh.
But the witness was able to say that he saw dark fur, and then instead of a bat-like face, this witness said a dog-like face, and that while it was digging, it was upright. Yes.
Dog-like growl. Could it have been a dog?
Well, but really long hairless arms and a bat-like face. Also,
Dog with mange?
Often in Kentucky and in several states, there are dogman cryptids. And so some people wonder, is this the same cryptid? Are people that see the dogman actually seeing the Kentucky Gravedigger and vice versa? So some explanations. Some people say, well, obviously this is just a misidentified animal. It could be a raccoon, a coyote. It could be escaped primates. A lot of people think these are just chimps that somehow escaped, or large bats or owls in poor lighting. And these animals would appear in graveyards, people say. Some people say that these are just local campfire stories, exaggerations of real events. And over time, they accumulate details and they just end up becoming part of the regional folklore. Also, there are animals that, especially historically, commonly scavenged in cemeteries because they could get animals. Like coyotes were one, raccoons were one.
I'm glad you pronounced it coyote this time instead of coyote, because now we have both pronunciations represented.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. Here in Eastern Oregon, we pronounce things multiple ways. Roof, wolf, lift. You got a whiff of that perfume. I saw a whiff. Wolf.
Creek, crick.
So, and they're saying like it's easy when you encounter something at night that's normal to actually believe it's supernatural. So there are similar cryptids in Kentucky. There are similar cryptids in Kentucky. Are you doing the public monster?
Yeah.
Okay, just curious.
Don't cover my cryptid.
I won't. There are similar creatures often seen in Kentucky that are, known to be in remote areas, in railways, and in rural communities. And people often say that it could be that people are, like I already said, that Dogman could be conflated with it, that people are conflating the Kentucky Gravedigger with some of these. Now, I already talked about the Danville Cemetery sighting. Did I? No, I didn't. Yes, I did.
You talked about a cemetery.
There are several stories that claim the creature was seen around railways or near graveyards, and they say that this creature runs on 2 legs, but sometimes crouches like an animal. What does that remind you of?
A toddler. Wait, a 5-year-old boy.
Yes, and yes to both of those, but also oh gosh, why can't I remember the name of the animal? The one that's on
Possum?
white, and it's gets on its hind legs and then crawls on all 4, and it's like a white humanoid.
Possum?
Cryptid.
Oh,
Cryptid.
anteater.
Cryptid. It's white. It's not a skinwalker. It's not a wendigo, but it's kind of like it. Why the name is just suddenly escaping me. It's like white. Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Bugging me that I can't remember the name. The rake.
Rake.
It sounds kind of like the rake, but has fur on its body. So anyway.
As budding cryptozoologist, I'm so shocked at
I can't believe
that we didn't get that.
Yeah, well, we'll be cutting out that we didn't get it and making it seem like we got it right away. The rake, don't you think? Or maybe we're leaving it. Depends on who's editing. There's also been several cemetery caretakers who have reported seeing small, hunched creatures digging in the soil using hands or claws rather than tools, and that when they are approached with a flashlight, the creature runs on all 4s before disappearing into the woods. More recently, one witness reported online that they lived near a cemetery in Kentucky, and they said they repeatedly heard movements and scratching near graves at night, and they saw a pale, strange creature moving near the cemetery path, but they could not identify it, which to me, that sounds more like a rake because the Kentucky Gravedigger is like dark brown fur, but a rake, even though it sounds like they move the same, a rake is, pale. So that is pretty much it. That is the Kentucky Gravedigger. Sounds creepy?
Yeah.
When I looked it up on Reddit, everyone was like, it was clearly escaped chimpanzees. But then people are like, right, but then where are they now and why were they never captured? And where did they escape from and why wasn't it reported? So,
yeah.
And why would they be digging graves? Like,
why would they be in a graveyard and then seen nowhere else?
I don't know that chimps are notoriously scavengers either.
Or like night. They're not nocturnal.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's the Kentucky Gravedigger. Very kind of interesting, kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I liked the title.
Bat face,
furry body, no hair, arms. Long arms, 3 to 4 feet tall.
Bat face, furry body, no hair, arms. Long fat face, furry tall.
I did not say long fat face. I said bat face.
Whatever. I repeated exactly what you said.
Luckily, we have the recording.
Meticulously.
I just sent you guys a picture of the sassiest rake. He's like sad on his face, but his butt is sticking out like, oh.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh.
So sassy.
I'm too sexy for my life. Too sexy for my life. That's what I think of.
Yes, it's perfect.
Wow.
Haley's going to take us on a new adventure with a new cryptid, but in the same old state.
Picture this. Human face of a man. Tall. Chest of a sexy man. Goat legs. Oh no, he has fur? Are those horns? Why is he screaming? I gotta get off these train tracks. This is the Goat Man of Pope Lick, Kentucky.
I didn't do any research on this cryptid.
Good. You're asking, what is the Goat Man? Who is the Goat Man? Why is the Goat Man? So another question could be, where does the Goat Man come from? No one's sure, but some claim to know. Some say it's a cursed farmer. 1800s, goat farmer. Rumor spreads that this farmer is performing strange rituals with his goats. Angry locals drag him to the Pope Lick Railroad trestle and throw him from the bridge.
Oh, no.
But the farmer survives long enough to curse the town.
Oh.
After that, strange sightings start to happen. Something part human, with horns, part goat.
Ooh.
Another legend has it that back in the day, a circus came to town, and a sideshow performer had a condition that gave him goat-like features. The train carrying the circus crashes near Poplick, and this quote-unquote circus freak escaped to the forest. Perhaps the most disturbing story detailing the origin of this creature is human experimentation.
Yeah.
A deranged scientist merged human and goat DNA. The animal could not be tamed. It escaped the government laboratory and took refuge in the woods.
Ooh.
So whatever his origin, the goat man resides near the dangerous Poplick Trestle. And if you find yourself on this bridge, you better hope you don't find yourself face to face with a train. You will meet your certain doom.
Ooh.
There are many who have gone looking for the goat man. Tragically, not all have returned. At least 5 people since 1988 have died on the Poplick Trestle.
Wait, seriously? Like trying to find the goat man?
Or just wandering around there.
Oh.
It cannot be stated enough. Stay off train trestles. Yes. If you're wondering what a train trestle is, it's just basically a bridge that trains cross with all of that scaffolding underneath.
Yeah.
For support, because trains are heavy. So, you want to safely go looking for the goat man? Some people say they've seen tall, shadowy figures on the bridge. Bleeding noises coming from the woods. Glowing eyes that reflect in flashlight beams. Some say it's just deer or coyotes.
Ooh.
To those doubters, I say no. It's spooky. And that is the goat man from Poplick.
Yes.
Also, there is a Goat Man Festival in Louisville, Kentucky.
What festival is full of... Hold on.
Kentucky is full of
festivals. Kentucky is rife.
Kentuckivus.
It sounds to me like we got to do like a Kentucky summer. I'm assuming all these festivals are in the summer for some reason.
I hope so.
Got to do a Kentucky summer of festivals.
Yeah.
Festival hopping.
Kentucky, here we come.
I mean, maybe. No promises.
Spooky darling summer.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Thank you.
The Poplick. It was such a weird word.
Mm-hmm.
Where does it come from? Do you know?
Probably licking popes.
Yeah, most likely. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I wonder if there's an area or something, because isn't a lick like a little...
Yes. Like a lick
like a
creek.
Thing.
Like a cow lick. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, we are the Spooky Darlings. If you have any stories that you'd like to email in about cryptid sightings, especially in Kentucky, our next state is Louisiana. Also, if you have any suggestions or ideas for Louisiana, we'd love to hear them. You can email us at thespookydarlings@gmail.com, and we would love it if you would take a moment to give us a 5-star rating and write a review. We are going to be reading some of our reviews on our Follow-Up Friday episodes. So please write in, and you might get to hear your review read on the episode. So thanks for listening, and we will see you next, tune in next Tuesday where we will be talking about some other creepy stuff. Yeah, thanks. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
5 stars. Before we disappear into the shadows, don't forget, we're still sending out vinyl stickers. Leave us a rating and review and email us proof to thespookydarlings@gmail.com along with your mailing address, and we'll send you some spooky snail mail while supplies last. And if your heart is still mourning that tote bag, may we gently tempt your way toward our merch store at thespookydarlings.printful.me. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Thanks for listening. And as always, stay spooky.